So, as you all should know, Mario Kart Wave 5 DLC just came out. And here to tell you guys my opinions. I just have to put this in a full screen projector view because I don't want to have to stare down at the tablet. And it's not working. Awesome. Great. There we go. Gee, I don't know why. Okay, so I'm gonna do things through Grand Prix. I can show you all that I've been playing a lot on these maps because I've got all the 3 stars. I've done it with everything before. I'm doing it with this one. So, first things first, we have the Feather Cup. Alrighty, starting out with Athens Dash. This, I believe, is Athens, I would hope. A lot of ruins, and I think a small town at the end. A lot of jumps and ramps, and the music sort of sells me that this is some big grand adventure. So far, playing on this map, I only have like a bunch of fun on this when I'm going really fast, because the map doesn't last that long. I'm not that big of a fan. It's not really that difficult, if I should say, which I'm expecting these maps to be pretty difficult because this is one of the last cups in the game. Oh, there goes that. I'm expecting a lot of these maps to be difficult because we're pretty much in the last stretch of the game. Sadly, most of these maps are quite simple. Athens Dash is a bit, complicated, I guess, but it's not really that bad. Also, I guess you can go down here. Didn't know you could do that, but great. Grass. How did a banana get there? Oh well, alrighty, so we've got this last section here. This sand thing sometimes confuses me, and sometimes I try to go up like the normal stairs and not the decrepit, dilapidated ones. This ramp part's the ending. The ending of this map is pretty fun. And then you've got this last section with the town. This town reminds me of that one part in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the old one, where you were going through that. I believe it was somewhere in South America. For anyone says Mexico, wasn't Mexico, right? That's the new one. I didn't play the new one. And then, of course, you have that little piranha plant thing, sort of like Paris, where you have the little boost pad there. Difference is that I don't think it slows you down, so you just need an item to get through it. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. So, all in all, Athens Dash, not my favorite map. I'm not very well impressed with that one. It's kind of boring. Daisy Cruiser, it's a very pleasing map, aesthetically. It's very brightly colored. It's pretty fun, I'd say. Not very challenging. So it's not the difficulty that I'm looking for in the complexity of these maps, because it's like, you know, before anybody says that maybe I'm being too critical on map difficulty, they gave us freaking Shroom Ridge, and I'm never going to be not pissed about that. But you have the tables moving around, and they're filled out, which is really nice. And this the underwater section brings back those little clam dudes from Mario Kart 7, which is pretty nice. And then, of course, you've got this area here after you get out. Pretty simple, very easy map. You know, I think this would fit in with a bunch of more difficult maps because, you know, it gives you a break from all of that. But, you know, just calm music, very calm all around. Other than when you're in here and the tables start to move as you're next to them. I'm gonna not... hoping I could miss that by an inch. There we go. I think that's the first time I didn't hit that part in that little cramped area. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Also, the little Goombas just chilling out in the water. It's a pretty cool detail there. I think that's like the second blooper. Jesus. Luckily, oh, I didn't have to go into the water then, but from my perspective, I believe the water is faster than any traveling on land for some reason. But yeah, simple map, pretty fun. I actually like this one. I think they did a great job on it. You know, just wish the rest of the maps were harder. But it fits the summer vibe, though I don't think they really need to worry about theming everything around the season they released the DLC in. But, yeah, pretty okay map. Moonview Highway. I feel like a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one, but that's okay, because I don't give a fuck. So, as you can hear the music, it's really nice. But, if you want to know something about Moonview Highway, I'm glad they brought the bomb cars back at least. What the hell? Music's really nice. General look of everything is really nice. But I've played Mario Kart Wii within the past year. I'm going to be playing it at the end of this month. Generally, this section of the music, usually, from what I remember, starts when you hit the tunnel. And when you're outside of that tunnel, past those gates, you have like a police siren, police lights on you. Now sure, I'm okay with them, like, you know, not doing the music starting at the exact right point. But what I do have an issue with is how the music sounds. Like, this part is fine. You know, maybe doesn't seem like as frantic as it was in the original version, but here I just need to wait for the actual, like, the main part of it. Of course it's only going to do the fucking xylophone part. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. What I always thought it was like a more jazzier theme, but it sounds like an automaton. Which isn't right. Hi, this is Editing J. In fact, this is the third one I'm making, but this is earlier in the video because I went back to listen to the music on YouTube and ignore everything about my disappointment of well, Moonview Highway, because listening to it, for some reason in game it sounds like an automaton, but then when I listen to it on YouTube, it actually does sound like that is a saxophone. So they did get it right. And you guys are going to learn a little bit later into the video that listening to these things on YouTube is superior to in-game, because I guess the in-game sounds are just loud compared to the music than in other games, because I've noticed that it's hard. I'm noticing a lot more listening to this by itself than in the game, and I've spent a lot of time playing these maps, and I don't think it's partially my fault, but I don't think it's because I wasn't paying attention to the music. I think maybe it's because of the audio mixing, which I can't blame them. I still suffer from that too from time to time. Like this annoying ass fan that is blowing in my ear, and hopefully not so loud I have to re-record all 3 of these extra messages I'm throwing in here, just like I had to re-record this video because of fucking audio issues. So yeah, you've got 2 more of these ahead of you, but just to say that any issues I have with music, disregard it, because it's the game audio that was too loud for me to hear the more subtle parts that I used to hear, especially Coconut Mall. So yeah, I was wrong. My bad. Okay, enjoy the video. Honestly, the more I listen to the track, the more upset I get about it, honestly. Because it just... I really like this track. This is one of my favorites as a kid. And I am extremely critical of the music in this game. Because this just doesn't sound like it's the right... It just doesn't sound right. Did I blow that up with a shell? I missed it, but... Yeah, so... Map's great and everything. You know... Probably should have, like, maybe a few more bomb cars and regular cars going around. And probably at a little bit of a faster speed to make it a bit more difficult. It's a little easy. But... It's an alright map. It's just the music's bugging me. I can't stand the music because it just doesn't sound right. And they've done this before, so this is not something new. Squeaky clean sprint just is... This is a fever dream. This doesn't feel like this is real. But other than that, this is an amazing map. I really like it. This is super fun. You have like this little sponge section just for some extra jumps and speed. This drain part and the pipes. The pipes are like my favorite part because you just move so fast. There's that little shortcut there. It's the first time I've gotten to use it because I'd always forget about it. And use my mushroom a little too early. Then there's this section with the fan. The fan can push you around, which is really cool. Kind of reminds me of Mario Kart, or not Mario Kart, Mario Party DS, where everyone got shrunk down. My favorite Mario Party game. So glad in the Mario Party Superstars they decided to really honor the legacy. Why am I finding like every little tiny crevice you can like accidentally fall through? Evidence that the blooper sucks and really they just need to get rid of it. Here's the regular bath. You have these bath bombs you can go above and they'll push you up a little bit. That's pretty cool. But other than that, this is just a really nice, fun map. Wish I could say that about pretty much the rest of the... pretty much all the other tracks, because so far I've really liked the Booster Course Pass. Just this one is the Black Sheep, I guess. Then at the second lap and third lap, there's this little water spot out the toilet. You can get a high up area that just gives you a nice little glider. That's fun. You can even go up here and get some extra coins. Really like little things like that. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about Squeaky Clean Sprint. It's really fun. It's just a good map. And the theme is pretty out there, but I think that just adds to it. Especially the music, really. I like the music of this one a lot. I think this works. Also, how come they can get the big band out here, but it feels like other tracks they can't do it? I don't know. So, as a TLDR, we've got first map, Athens Dash. Pretty disappointing. Not a fan of it. Then we've got Daisy Cruiser. Pretty solid map, though I feel like it would have worked better in an earlier thing, just from kind of how easy it is. Moonview Highway, the music disappoints me. And, you know, I can't get over it, alright? I have to listen to that every single time I play it, and it hurts. And I play this game a lot, because I really like this game. Then Squeaky Clean Sprint is amazing. Honestly, really good map. Really fits the difficulty that you want for some of the last tracks you're going to be adding. Of course, they didn't just add those things, they also added a few new characters. Petey Piranha, Wiggler, and Kamek. Kamek's voice sounds a little bit deeper than it should be. I'm not sure, that might just be me. Wiggler's just goofy and looks wrong when you put him on the Wild Wiggler. Also, he looks really goofy when you hit X and look behind you. Or it's either Y or X where you look behind you. And it looks pretty goofy. And then PD Piranha also sounds a little bit off. I couldn't tell you why he sounds a little bit off. He just does. But all in all, pretty good characters, especially now that Kamek's finally in the game. Let's jump into the next one. The Cherry Cup. The second one. Another thing that's sort of weird is that these maps, I don't know, all the maps in this feel really short compared to all the rest of the DLC waves. Like, barely took me 3 hours to get 3 stars in all of them. Now, sure, it took me not too much longer on the other maps, but this just unnaturally short. But Los Angeles laps, I don't really have much to say about this one. It feels like Los Angeles. They have like the bike lanes and stuff. I don't know, they got a coin ramp here. It's a map. Here's the stadium. I don't know, the stadium is really off-putting. We got all the cardboard cutout characters, but they just look so tiny compared to all the guys on the street. Also, the stadium just is also really tiny now that I think about it. Just gonna use the mushroom there. You can go, I didn't even know you can go on the sidewalk here. Okay, that's sort of weird. Then you've got this, pretty much, this area is some sort of, I don't know what this is. Not gonna lie, but this is like kind of the coolest part of this map. Mostly because it's just a lot of stuff around, I guess. Yeah, but it doesn't really last that long, and still there's not that much happening. I mean, the track is pretty small and condensed, so I guess it would be pretty chaotic if you're in like a huge pack. It's happened before, it just, you know, nothing much happened. Sunset Wilds is... It looks really nice. I have to give them that. But the only thing that this really has that makes it different from the other GBA maps is mud. Sort of slows you down a bit. Ruins your traction. But most importantly, you can't drift. Even though it doesn't really matter because it's on straightaways. And for the other part where it is, it's, why did that get rid of my banana? I don't think it dropped on the map. I think it just ate it. But yeah, normally on the GBA, well, the Game Boy, when you're playing this map, as you went through laps, it would slowly get darker and darker until lap 3 it was nighttime. But it doesn't do that, it just stays dusk, which is kind of lame. You have the little dancing Shy Guys, and when they get hit by something, they drop coins, which is kind of cool. Nothing really to write home about, but, you know, kind of cool. I just wish it turned nighttime, because it looked pretty cool on the Game Boy. I think it would look pretty cool on the Wii, or not the Wii U, on the Nintendo Switch too. Other than that, just another simple track, not much happening here. Here's another map from Wii, and it was also in Mario Kart 7. Though, I'm finally happy. The music just feels right, feels like it's a remaster of the original, rather than, you know, they couldn't get anybody in the office that day to make the music, I guess. They have some, they have the jump back, and they've added coins onto it. They've got ramps. One weird thing is that there was a power block there with a ramp. They got rid of it, but it also just feels like this entire river section is just much smaller. In the sense that it's like, it used to be able to hold a lot more people. Some extra boost there. Also, from the way that these little jump pads work, I feel like the little river pathway that you need a mushroom to get through is kind of just useless now. Oh, I don't want triple banana. Also, there used to be a ramp in that grass there. I'm quite sure of that, which is sadly gone now. I don't know. This is quite a nice map. I really like how they did this. Just, you know, maybe open up the river a bit more. Not everyone can be perfect, though. Also, last thing. I don't know why they insist on having these tunnels open, but they could have done something cool with the anti-gravity there, since they finally decided to utilize it. It's not like it was the main gimmick of the game. That was pretty cool. But basically close up the tunnel, and since it's anti-gravity, you can go all over the place. Have the ceiling be the track too, why not? Plus, I think just the underwater section would look cooler if it had, you know, closed off. I mean, they opened it up for 7 because going underwater was their gimmick, I guess, but it's more of gliding. Other than that, this is actually a pretty solid map. I can finally be happy about one of my favorite maps they brought back. Because they like to make the music suck, for some reason. I guess a fun thing is that they actually brought back the little sort of monkey sound you can hear in it. Usually they just kind of get rid of those, but they did bring it back. Also keeping a lot of the instruments. I'll get into that later. But Vancouver Velocity is the last map, and in my opinion, the best map. I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. Compare it to regular Mario Kart 8. Regular Mario Kart 8 is probably more beautiful, but you know, this does a really good job at looking really nice. You have the suspension bridge. Bats flying over it, that's pretty cool, but the best part is this section right here. The reason I love this map. This is an amazing use of anti-gravity. Like, this just makes me happy. And also upset. You might be wondering why I'm upset. Because, well, this shows that they know how to use anti-gravity. So why couldn't they do this for every map that they've included? You know, I mean, it's not like this was, you know, the whole thing with this game. You know, anti-gravity makes the tracks more open and stuff. You know, that would be stupid. But in all seriousness, like, I just wish they had more anti-gravity in these maps. And the entirety of the DLC waves. Anti-gravity is, sure, some people say it doesn't really do that much, but it's still fun. Tried to hit that boost pad, but the fact that they just kind of ignored it just sucks. Don't know why I was drifting the wrong way. I didn't have the stick that direction, but that's okay. Give me a red shell? There we go. There's a tunnel with some more bats. But this map is kind of long. So I think it it feels like an actual track for one. Also is a little bit difficult with all the little like stuff everywhere. Especially also because it's a really small one. Lies a lot of drifting too, so that's quite nice. So that's why I think this is the best map of this DLC wave. And everything else was, the rest of it was mostly just disappointing in some way. I think this is like the one map where I can look at it and say, I don't really have any complaints here. Don't really, meaning I have one complaint. I just wish that we got to go over that anti-gravity bridge again, because that was just amazing. It's a great section. But alright, so TLDR, what's the first map? Los Angeles Laps, not a huge fan, bit of a boring map. Sunset Valley, why can't it be nighttime? Don't know. Also a really simple, boring map. Koopa Cape, pretty fun. You know, I don't know why you had to shorten sections of it and cut a few things that were just sort of strangely removed for no reason, like 2 ramps. And some of the driving areas, some of the road areas around the river, so you didn't have to use the river, you could go on the road, but the river was much faster. Now, because there's grass everywhere, you have to use the river. Could have used the road as a place for double item boxes. So you're sacrificing speed like they already did. They did it earlier. So they clearly have the idea, they just didn't continue it. Could have also opened it up a bit more. I feel like it would be better if it was a bit more open in that section. And then also, why do you insist on that tunnel being open? The underwater tubes, like, what's the point of it being a tube if it's just an open tube? That just kills there's no purpose to it then. I like the original where you had water going down the center of the tube so you could drive on the sides. But if you stayed in the center, you would go faster. And with the anti-gravity, you could make it go all around the tube. So therefore, if you want to stay at the center, at the bottom, then you would move faster. That would be pretty cool, but no, I guess not. And then Vancouver Velocity is the only map that didn't disappoint me in some way. But for some extra thoughts and stuff, well, before I get into extra thoughts, if you are enjoying this video and you like my opinions, please like and subscribe. If you hate my opinions, please dislike and then still subscribe. And then comment down below your own opinions, whether it be on this DLC, previous DLCs, the base game, or anything Mario Kart related. Tell me Double Dash is your favorite. I'll know that Double Dash is your favorite. But going over the DLCs, starting from the beginning, Coconut Mall is a Wii track. I mean, I love Coconut Mall. How'd you fuck up the music? I don't know how. I might have to play these maps. I'm not going to play the maps, any more maps, because it's already going on a little bit of time. I'm trying to keep it short and simple. But the music just seems dead, and it just kills any atmosphere the mall has. And therefore, when I'm driving through it, it just feels dead. Used to be a lot of instruments playing in the original, and now it feels like it's 2. Like 1 saxophone and like 1 other instrument. There's not much happening in the music, and that's what adds to the atmosphere. Hi, this is Editing Jay here. I'm gonna turn the fan down for you, but I just decided to listen to the Coconut Mall theme for Mario Kart 8, and I noticed something. They didn't do that bad of a job on it. The problem is that most of the background sound that you got to, not the background sound, but most of like the instruments that were more in the back than the front get completely drowned out by the game audio. This is the issue. Because I figured it out. I actually listened to it. I'm like, oh wow, I'm actually hearing a lot more because I'm listening to it by itself. I'm just listening to it on YouTube. But the problem is that in game it gets drowned out. Most of that stuff, most of the instruments that are more in the background than the foreground get drowned out by game sound, which I don't believe it happened, at least not as bad in the original, because in the original I remember specifically there was a piano playing a lot in the background, but in Mario Kart 8 I could never hear it until I listened to it by itself. So I just wanted to throw that in because I just noticed that. I'm sorry. In case I notice anything else, expect another one of these. Let's see. Shroom Ridge. I hate Shroom Ridge. It is so boring. Like, even I've been in like the back, in the middle of the pack. Nothing happens on this map. It's just boring and lame. I don't know why they added it. Mario Kart Circuit 3, that was also done on Wii, and in fact it looks the exact same as it did on Wii, and I feel like they only did that because it was on Wii, and people love the Wii. But I feel like I wish they did things they did with like the GBA maps, how those ones look great and amazing, but the SNES one can't get that treatment. I mean, look at, Donut Plains 3 looks amazing, and that's a SNES map. Mario Circuit, GBA, and that's amazing. The way they use the colorful blocks to line it, but here it's so basic. I don't like it. Calamari Desert, that was in 7. I've played Wii, 7, 8, as well as DS. Can't forget DS. So Calamari Desert was really fun in 8. I love the new things that they added, how you get to drive on the track. That was just a really pleasant surprise. I really love what they did with that one. Waluigi Pinball makes me sad. That entire pinball slide could have been anti-gravity. But no, that's stupid. It's Waluigi, not anti-gravity pinball. Pfft. It's not like the sky is starry and stuff. The Waluigi statue doesn't return, but I don't think we're ever getting a giant render of Waluigi ever because it's Nintendo. They hate us. And Waluigi too. And then also Waluigi Pinball, as well as, oh, it's right there, Wario Stadium, were both in DS and used the same music. Mario Kart 8 was the first Mario Kart game that didn't reuse any music throughout its tracks. Was hoping they would use it would be the same music basically, but they would change the instruments and maybe the tempo too to fit the pinball setting. They didn't do that. It's just the exact same music, which sucks because it doesn't really fit. It doesn't fit. This isn't a stadium. This is a pinball machine. They kept the sounds, though, at least, which... it's a half measure. Mushroom Gorge, they did a pretty good job with. For some reason, they made it a little bit shorter than it was supposed to be in one section. Don't know why, but they did. But I know a lot of people complain that if you use a boost at all on the mushrooms, you will not make it, which that happened a lot in Wii 2. I guess they wanted to bring it over. Also, the mushrooms, I believe, are much smaller. Or not, yeah, not much smaller, but a little bit smaller, which probably could add to that, but maybe that was intentional. 3DS Rock Mountain. The music is amazing, and it's genuinely a really fun map, and seeing it beautified in Mario Kart 8 is really nice. But I would also like to say that it is a mountain of rocks. The Alpines are only in this one area, so I'm not calling it Alpine Pass. That's stupid. Maple Treeway is in a bit of a sad predicament. It's one of my favorite maps, and one of the first maps I think of when I think of Mario Kart Wii, but here it's just forgettable. I don't know how you do that. Also, why couldn't you bring back the wavy bridge? You can keep your damn paraglider section, but add the wavy bridge back. It would make it great if you get hit by anything during the paraglider section. Peach Gardens was not only DS, but it was remade on Wii too. And this one they did a really good job with, especially with the surprise of having to go on the track backwards. That was another fun surprise, and it's really fun to have people play their first time on that map only be like, wait, I'm going backwards? But the hedges being characters now is really nice. Just really great job on that. 3DS Rainbow Road, amazing job on the music, amazing job on the atmosphere. You're showing me that you know how to do stuff like this. You know how to make a really good map, and you know how to make a map look really good and sound really good. Why can't you just do that for the rest of them? I don't care if this is asking for too much. Look at the base game. Alrighty, I don't want anybody to say, oh, well, you're asking for too much. Listen, these guys aren't the original Mario Kart team. Okay, well then, I don't know, maybe make the maps look like this and take longer on them. Is that so bad to ask for? I'm asking to go with the standards that they put out years ago. Well, technically they put all this out on the Wii U. I guess it is a port, so maybe there aren't really any standards left. But, you know, you could at least pretend that there's some standards. I don't know. We go here. DK Summits from Wii. This map, I don't really know how to feel about it. It was kind of cool, I guess, but a lot of people were going nuts because, like, oh, I can do all the same tricks and stuff from Wii, and that's cool, I guess, but I don't know. Just like that section where you're going down the mountain, they could have changed it to where, rather than it being like a flat surface and a side, make it anti-gravity. Sure, you might not be able to do your little jump panels then, but jump panels weren't in the main game. I don't really care about them. I'd rather have, like, parts of the main game. I'm going to talk about Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island is really fun. The music's amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. All the cool sounds from the original game are amazing. Amazing job on that one. Mario Circuit, solid, fun map. I do have to jump into that one because I just have to show you guys something. But after all the ending of, after I get over this, Waluigi Stadium makes me sad. Because they kept, like, the giant sliding metal piranha plants that come in and out. They kept the fire wheels, and those are nice. But the music... And I'm back, because I decided to listen to Waluigi Stadium, and I noticed a few things listening to it by itself, which is strange, because I've listened to it by itself before and never noticed this until now, where I'm sitting at my computer desk, I'm listening to it as intensely as I can with headphones. There is a guitar. I didn't know there was a guitar in there, but it's entirely in the background. I wish it did. I wish there was more guitar than that. But also, there's more instruments than just the wind instruments, and you know, the percussion. But well, there's a lot more of them. It's not just those two instruments going at each other, but it's the same issue. It's so quiet that I've never been able to notice it, and I've played it in the car before, and I've just never noticed it until now when I have headphones on. Which, I mean, I don't know if this is an apology or not, because I mean, I should be able to enjoy the music whilst I'm playing the game. That's generally how Nintendo wants you to do it, as they don't put their music anywhere, and you have to rip the music from the game just to listen to it, or, you know, go to YouTube for somebody else who ripped the music until Nintendo sues the shit out of them. But that's just kind of annoying that all of that, it's been in there. They're not that bad of, like, remixes, but you just can't hear it. And now I've got to go listen to the Moonview Highway one just to make sure that I'm not wrong on that one. And then there's Singapore Speedway. I don't know what it is about both the music and the aesthetic of this map. This doesn't feel like a Mario Kart game or at all, or even a Mario game. This feels like Sonic. It sounds like Sonic. I feel like Metal Sonic's about to pop out. I'm going to have to fight him. But if I go back here, past the character selection, they added Birdo in the last update. Which, you know, Birdo freaks me out. Ugh. But Birdo has one redeeming feature. That's the mouth. That's amazing. That's something special right there. And in fact, so special, I'm not even going to talk about it anymore, because I'm weirding myself out now. But I can jump in the game, and I can jump into Mario Circuit from DS, 'cause I just have to show you guys something. There are these piranha plants that spit fireballs. The fact that Donkey Kong puts himself as king and Bowser as lord is pretty cringe. They deserve to lose the race. But I just need to drive to this area up here. Look at that. Oh my god, Nintendo, what are you thinking? How am I supposed to look at this and feel? Oh my god, I'm so horny.